Good evening, and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the Think Show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find his way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, TheIndigenous1. And tonight we have a brother that, a lot of us are into social media because we can meet up with people with like same kind of thoughts, seeing the same kind of visions and wanting to see the same things. And tonight a brother joins us, King Rob Lewis
All
joins
right.
us. And we're going to be talking about,
Yep.
with all the divisions going on in the community, how do we call ourselves conscious? So we're going to talk about that. And you know how I do it. I'm just going to move to a side and let this brother talk. Check out what this brother has to say, because it can be some steps that we put in our own everyday lives to help move us forward. What's going on, brother?
How's it going, brother? Peace. How you doing?
Things good.
First and foremost, I wanted to say I appreciate you for the time and giving me your outlet to speak. I know you're one of the forerunners in the conscientious Aboriginal community, and I consider you an elder. On the level of, you're studying this way before me. And, I know a lot of people don't know who I am because even what I do on Facebook, I don't spend a lot of time talking about myself. I really like to just get to the point. And so I'll give you a quick history of myself. I am originally from Buffalo and Niagara Falls, New York. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I also grew up here, both places actually. I came into this information or this level of understanding probably about 2 years ago. I was studying to be a real estate agent and just happened across some information. And it was like, wow, it kind of blew my mind, and I kind of been stuck ever since. You know what I mean? But like Brother Indigenous1 Kerry said, we're going to talk about, is there opportunity to unify with all the division in the conscientious community? All right. And you made a very good point, my brother. You said, people want to be conscious, but they're not necessarily conscious. And I agree with that because, a lot of us, and including myself, I'm still a student learning. Most of the time when I share this stuff from people who came before me, and they have the understanding or the level of intelligence to break down what it is we need to learn. So I would like to say, yeah, man, we can unify, but there's some key factors that's keeping us apart, And I took time, I wrote a little list of things that I consider to be problems within the community, and I'll just get straight to it. So the first one, which I personally believe is a universal law, which is respect. Respect is a universal law. It does not have to be written down on any piece of paper, but with respect, we can move forward, and that's with whoever you're dealing with. And without it, you're going to always get stuck. We're going to get stuck in a position of infighting and a bunch of other things that just is not productive. And I'm not with counterproductive. The second problem is a lack of personal responsibility, and that's when it's okay to not know everything. It's okay to be wrong sometimes when you're in your mode of learning and teaching and all of these things. It's all right to say I was wrong if you find out that you was wrong, So anyway, the third one was we're under attack, my people. We are under attack, and I'm sure most of us know that. We are under attack from like, we don't have to even say the government. Most of us already know the government is structured in a way to attack us. The media, which is really just a arm of the government, they use them. We're in a country that's told that free speech and all of that is what we're doing. But in reality, there are still things that get muffled and get canceled out. And the truth is, man, we're under attack. We're under attack environmentally. A lot of us, well, I say a lot of our communities are in places that are environmentally unsound and makes you unhealthy as a whole. You know what I mean? It makes you not be able to think properly at some points because you don't know any better, man. And it's a lot that goes into that, and we'll come back to that. And a big one for me is the distractions. And a prime example of that would be this past year when we were looking at the elections. And, in this conscientious community, I watched a lot of us fight with each other over politics. And, granted, politics is important because we are all involved. We're here. If you're not, involved, that's one thing. But most of us are involved, and most of us are around in the regular world. And those politicians and their political ideologies affect us. You know what I'm saying? And then finally, we'll come down to the education of the masses, and meaning, for many, many years, we've been miseducated by the school system. We've been miseducated by even some of our elders who may have been miseducated by some of their elders, and so on. You know what I mean? So I want to go back to the first one, which is respect. Like I said, that is a universal law. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. I've been a few places, and I'm not a world traveler necessarily, but I've been a few places, and there's one thing that has remained true no matter where I go, which is respect. When you go to somebody's home or you go into somebody's environment or into other people's communities, you have to respect them. And you should demand your respect from them. And, I say one thing I would like to see, or I'm not seeing enough of, is the youth does not respect their elders. Okay. And when I say that, for an example, you talk about, let's just say people who were in like the civil rights movement, and even before them, they didn't do everything right. I mean, we're learning that because we have the opportunity to sit back and analyze today. Life is a whole lot more comfortable in a lot of ways, where we can analyze what they did and how they should have did something better than that. Or maybe you feel like there was a trick being played on them and they didn't get it. But
I think
that doesn't
that's
mean
it.
disrespect them. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
I said, I think that's it. Because, what you're saying is right. But I'm sure you remember, things that we're not getting is put out into the atmosphere, normally by artists, singers, actors, and actresses.
Mm-hmm.
They'll play a role. And one of the songs that I remember when I was a little boy, and I'm sure a lot of people remember now, is "Respect Yourself." Nah, nah,
That's right.
nah. Because if you don't respect yourself, nobody gonna give a shit.
Why would anybody else respect you if you don't respect yourself? Why would they?
Huh?
And they've had that same message for eras, but in my childhood, I'll tell you who was the famous one for that was Salt and Pepper. They respect your, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how old you are, but I'm mid-40s, so
Okay.
I remember that song. And NWA had the same thing. They had the same thing. Respect yourself. You know what I mean?
It comes through every generation. So it's not like we don't hear it or we don't know. We just
don't take heed.
Well, I don't want to do it.
They don't take heed. Right. They don't understand that is a universal law. That is not some law some human being wrote up. That is a natural law. Okay? You respect the earth, you respect nature, you respect each other, you respect yourself. And when you don't, we see what's happening for the lack of respect that's going on out here today. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like when me and you was talking before this, we was talking about, of course, we're going to address solutions as well as the problem. And I think as a solution, one of the first steps could be, man, as an older person, I know I'm quick to tune out these young cats sometimes because they say stuff that sounds a little weird or a little off, but at the same time, that's the future. You know what I mean? And I'm sure when I was a young cat, and my parents and their contemporaries looked at us like, hey man, y'all wild, man, y'all clothes too baggy, man, y'all doing this, man, why y'all gangsters? Why y'all do, you know what I'm saying? But at the end, now as a mature adult, I noticed that a lot of them do kind of respect how we moved. Yeah, it was a little wild. It was different than what they was used to, and I'm gonna say that to say these kids now, they moving different. I don't necessarily care for their style. I don't necessarily agree with everything that they think, but they are the future, bro. And even when they're wrong, that's when us as the elder generation needs to step in and give them a little insight. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is what's gonna happen if you don't correct this. You know what I mean? So it has to go both ways, though.
I think we have to be kind of real with that, because see, we like to come in and talk all that cuddly stuff after the damage has already been done, and it can't be reversed, because when the child's mind is developing, that is the time to shape it. You can't wait till they're 18 and 19 and start telling them stuff that you should have taught them when they was 3, 4, and 5. And see, we don't want to correct, because I see this shit every day. You can't take a kid when they get 12, 13, and 14 and then trying to train them to do something because you didn't do your job, earlier. It's
raising them, and
it's not going to happen. And so we got to get, so when you're saying re-educating the masses, I hear you on that, but this is the reality of it, brother. We ain't here a long time. We not on earth a long time. So we have to train the children younger, like many of us were trained. I wasn't trained.
That's true.
I wasn't trained to just act like a girl or want to be a girl. I wasn't trained to write. I wasn't trained to write all over myself. Respect yourself. I am somebody.
That's right.
That's
absolutely true.
And we act like that's not important. And so if you don't think you're important, and I think Cat Williams said this best, it's called self-respect, man. You come on. It's nobody else's job to come teach you how to respect yourself. You have something. You gotta have something in you to tell you, nah, man, do not fuck over your people, man, ever. We do it all the time. Right. And we act like so
they don't have the what we used to call the G code or the street code. They don't have that. You understand what I'm saying? Because like you could be wild in the streets, but there was still a level you're not gonna disrespect your mama or your grandma or let nobody else do it. You might have killed 10 niggas a day. But when you go home, you're gonna act civilized. And we don't have those values right now. I'm not seeing those values right now. I'll just say that. You know what I mean? I know there are still families that keep them, but I'll say as a whole, as the majority, I'm not seeing it. I'm not enough for it to have the effect that we need it to have. You know what I'm saying? We need for us to be able to hold each other accountable for dumb shit. So like, if you see your homeboy fucking up, and excuse my language, I hope that's not an issue. But if you see your homeboy messing up, you check him, because that's what a friend does. You don't sit there and watch your friend do something stupid and not tell them you're being stupid. That's not a friend if you just co-sign stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying, I know we got a time limit. I'm sorry, bro.
Let me ask you this, because American King asked the question, or he didn't ask a question. He just made the statement: crack babies. Crack. How much of the crack era thing has to do with what we're seeing today?
That is a major part of it, because we're at the level where the crack babies are at the point of making babies. You understand? So it's like, if you was born in the 80s, I was born in the 70s, but if you was born in the 80s, you probably didn't have kids. And some of them kids are making kids now. And if you was a crack baby, then that means your mind was never in a position to form properly in the first place. I was having a conversation with a brother a couple weeks back on another podcast, and I said the crack era was so destructive to us as a society, as far as we'll just say black, just for lack of a better term, so everybody understands who we're talking about. For the black society, it was so devastating that, to me, that could absolutely be one of the points. And if you want to ever talk about reparations, that is one of the points that should be considered, because, bro, the government did that to us. You know what I mean? That don't mean that we didn't play our own bad part in it, but they gave us the means to do that to ourselves. And then they tried to do the same thing during the Black Panther era with heroin, but the Black Panthers was up on game and they would not let it happen. You know what I'm saying? They would not let it happen. They was never down with that. But by the time the 80s rolled around and the crack kicked in, man, I remember hanging out back in elementary school, because I was in elementary school in the mid 80s. Bro, I remember friends of mine went from being a regular kid to the next week he got all the dopest new shit and new chains, and he a dope boy and was trying to put me on. And I'm like, man, my mama will kill me. And that's back to that respect. If you respect your elders enough to know you better not ever do this, there's some things you're just not going to do. And there's a lot of these kids don't have that right now. A lot of them don't have that right now because their parents are smoking weed with them. All right? I'm cool with weed. I'm just not cool with kids smoking weed before their brains can handle it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Weed is part of our ancient culture. That predates all European culture. That's our shit. You know what I mean? Right. But in the society that we in, and the stuff that we up against, don't destroy the kid's brain before they really understand what they up against. And that's what happens when you let your kid 11, 12, 13 smoke weed. By the time I was 16, I was smoking weed. I ain't gonna front. You know what I mean? But let me tell you something, bro. A year before I started smoking weed, I was in high school. I won a rap against drugs contest in the state of New York a year before I started smoking weed. All right. So that just goes to say, even back then, it was like, I know we shouldn't be doing this and we shouldn't be doing that. But, at a certain point, I won't just call it peer pressure, but it was peer pressure. It's just your environment. Hey, man, everybody smoking Phillies, because at the time, Phillies was the thing. Everybody smoking Phillies. Bro, I remember when Gin and Juice came out. I remember it. I went and bought the vinyl. It was a green one. That's when I started smoking weed. Right or wrong, I'll say this. We have to really, like the elders like my and your generation, have to get to these 30-year-olds, and them 30-year-olds need to get to them 20-year-olds, and them 20-year-olds need to get to them teenagers. You know what I'm saying? We don't have that right now. We need that ladder of, just taking care of each other. We need that. And I understand, shit is fucked up right now and everybody ain't cooperating and all. But bro, that's programming. They've been programming us to be that way for centuries. They have been working on this for a long time. And I'll say right now, they're the closest to achieving it than they've ever been. Even in the 60s and 70s, they didn't have us divided like they have us right now. You know what I mean?
But isn't that a testament to us, who can always be duped, who can always be tricked? I mean, there's gonna have to get to a point where we stop blaming and pointing and begging for people to come for us. It's gonna have to get to a point where we're gonna have to say, you know what? It looks like everybody from all over the world is coming over here to squat on us. Sooner or later,
that's it.
We're going to have to say no.
Exactly. We got to put an end to it.
We can't keep letting this shit happen and then be complaining and work after. Nah, bro, what you, and that's what I'm saying. What you doing now? You know, when you say conscious, you know, because the whole program is about the division within the community is the consciousness. If you conscious, you should see. I mean, like these kids that go to these Negro universities around me, they're pissed off because the other foreigners are coming to the universities, but they drive Mercedes and Lincolns and blah, blah, blah. And they're mad. But I'm like, you get your hair from them. What are you talking about? And we just go over that in our thinking. That's not conscious. That's dumb.
No, I agree with you.
You have to see what's happening to you. You can't support other people before you support yourself. And we think
exactly
what we want to do. I mean, the arrogance.
But you see, brother, I feel like, you know, that is, like you said, we're conditioned mentally. You know, we're at the time and place where these kids feel like they're entitled. They feel like they like them little white kids and they can act stupid and they can do crazy stuff and ain't nothing gonna happen until something happens. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
that's their grandparents with that integration shit. That's they were trained for that. Their grandparents and parents were way into it before they got here to do it.
I mean, I will agree with you to most of what you're saying, and I will say, but they were also duped, those grandparents. You know, because when they was trying to get integration in their mind, they thought that was the right thing. We should be equal to them. Well, yes, but now in this era, and with all this information we learning, bro, we was never equal to them. They was never equal to us, actually. And we actually have taken ourselves down or off of who we are, you know, for real. We've taken ourselves down to be equal with them. And it's not smart, but 50 years ago, how many people actually knew that? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's, in 2021, it's easy to look at them and say, yeah, they was stupid. But in 1965, did anybody else think they were stupid, or did they think they was doing the honorable thing? You know, did they think they was doing what was best for our people as a whole? You know what I mean? And that's what I mean by that respect. It's like, yeah, they ain't have everything right. They didn't do everything right. But they did go out there and they did try to do something. A lot of them put themselves in the line of fire to get it done. Quite a few of them got killed in the process of getting it done. And I can't disrespect anybody who will put their life on the line for a cause that's going to help us, even if they weren't right about what they were going for at the time. That's just my personal belief. You know what I'm saying?
But so you're saying it's okay for brothers to go over to Vietnam or Iran?
Oh, hell no.
No. So you think they're smart when history has shown you when brothers came back from World War I and brothers came back from World War II, brothers from Vietnam, I know some that'll tell you they wasn't fighting the Vietnamese, they was trying to kill their ass. You got brothers walking around will tell you that today. So, you know, when you say stuff like that, I'm saying, and I mean, I think the best example we have is the Muhammad Ali joint when Muhammad Ali says, I'm not going over there to fight them people. They brown poor people just like me. Are you crazy? That was conscious.
He was right. Right. Exactly. Well,
so
okay.
When you
go ahead, my brother.
You can't give you can't disrespect. It's not disrespecting nobody. We just said that when we first started. We're not disrespecting, but damn, if you stupid enough to go, you're gonna go fight for Hitler. You're gonna go fight Hitler, and you getting dogged out here, brother. That makes no sense to me.
I agree with you. I don't disagree with you. When I said I don't disrespect people who put their life on the line, I ain't talking about people who sided with the government to do their bidding. I'm not talking about them. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about the people who put their life on the line by going against what the government was about at that period of time. And a lot of them died or lost their livelihood or, all the other numerous ways that you could get at a person. And those are the people I'm talking about. I ain't talking about, I went and fought for my country and all of that. Nah, I ain't talking about that, bro. I'm talking about the soldiers. And when I say soldiers, I mean the people, like I said, the ones who put their life on the line, the ones who got their head knocked off. And they were, and listen,
Malcolm
I look at it like this, man. Malcolm X, he's one, most definitely. And then there's others, and I don't want to pinpoint people because that becomes personal and it starts getting political. I don't want to do that. I want to figure out how we can unify because I want to see us unify. Our strength is in numbers. Every separation that we can find to do with each other makes us weaker, makes us more vulnerable. And that really was my point of wanting to do this post is we are vulnerable as hell right now, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll have a section of people who will be down with whatever cause that should be helpful to each other. And then you have a section who are trolling the people who's trying to do something to help each other. And then you have the people who don't have nothing to say and they hands off and they just want to back up and just watch what happens. And all I can say is this, man. We ain't going to make it without each other. Nobody's going to save us but us. You know what I'm saying? But we do have to have a common denominator between all the factions. We have to have a common denominator. And that is the equivalent to what I consider like the G code of the streets that we had back in the days. It was like, you may be this or you may be that, but these are the guidelines and you stay kind of within those. And if you step out of that, well, you violate it. You know what I mean? And you'll be dealt with accordingly. So that's really where my mind is on that. You know what I mean? I know I don't have all the answers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to even act like I do, but I'm interested in getting to the answers. I want to talk to brothers who's equally interested in getting to these answers, and they ain't afraid to go out here and talk to other people, even if you don't agree with their point of view. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I'm going to hear you out, and I'll speak my piece, and you'll speak your piece, and hopefully we'll have that respect between us because we heard each other out that, hey, all right, there is a base set of rules that we're going to follow, a base set. You can't tell nobody what to do. But at the same time, if there ain't no rules, bro, nothing is sacred. Anything can happen.
You said,
you got these little niggas out.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you got these little cats out here robbing people, grandmama that's 70, 80 years old. When in history we ever allowed that to happen?
We just talked about the crack babies, man.
No doubt.
And what you're talking about is what you were saying about personal responsibility. But I want to get into one of the points you make when you say we are under attack from all sides. Can you give me an example of that?
Right. Well, we know we're under attack from the government by just the systematic structure of it, because when you think about law enforcement, it was created to deal with us. You know what I mean? Its inception is about oppressing us. It still exists. And now they want to say, oh, it's for everybody's good. But we know that's not really true.
Okay,
right?
But we call ourselves part of that. We're in their military. We're in their police force. We don't police ourselves. We don't respect ourselves. We don't have so we join them to keep us in check. So that doesn't work, because I seen where brothers have dogged us out, man, more than these white boys do, and everybody has seen.
True. That's very true. But then you got to think about their mind state when they joined up with those groups.
I don't give a damn what their mind state was. The mind state is the world is this. The people that look like you and me, And all the people that I see in my neighborhood, we're under attack. It's like you said.
That's true. I mean, I don't disagree with you.
We're in a cage. We don't make our own clothes. We don't grow our own food. We don't have our own banks. We don't have the wherewithal to educate our own children. And even in this bullshit that we in today, we ain't even thinking about it. We take on their religious ideologies. We wear their clothes. We wear their hair. We do with anything they say. We do
what they're doing. They're imitating your oppressor, and I don't disagree with you, bro.
So
I don't disagree with you.
But
what I can say.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that, let's say for instance, like right now, if you were raising a son, and you raised your son with knowledge of self, who you are, son, who your people are, son, what our problems are, son. Now, if you want to go and join that force, then there's a couple options that you could do that's beneficial to us. All right? You can let us know the game that they're trying to run before they start running it. But now, we realize most black officers or people in those positions don't do this. But that is exactly what those white supremacists are doing. I ain't going to go into them, but I'll just say they're infiltration into it, which is easy because, again, the basis of it is against us in the first place. So it coincides with their beliefs. But for some of us who, might have decided to go that route, you could help your folks if you had the right mentality before you stepped into it. Now, I'll leave the police alone, but we're saying attack on all sides. The media. We're watching the media play with us like right now. They're acting like they're patronizing us. Everything is about what's good for black folks, including this COVID shit. They trying to tell us we're the most at risk and all that. I don't believe that. I've never believed that. As soon as they said it, I felt like it was racist. I'm gonna be honest with you. As soon as you told me we the most at risk, that's a lot. We're the most genetically strong people, but we're the most at risk for some bullshit? Nah, I don't believe that, man. And not just that, but just a number of things, man. It's like you right now, it's like we're the it thing. 20 years ago, we were who you were after. And this year, we're who you should protect. But even while you're saying that we're who you should protect, you're still attacking us subliminally. You're attacking us. You know what I mean? Even while you're claiming to be. Okay.
So you know that, right?
I truly do feel that way, brother.
You and the media, you see how the media is weaving this, right?
Yeah.
You see it.
I do.
How come 90% of the people don't see it? Explain that one to me.
Oh, man.
If I was see it, explain to me why 90% of the population don't see it. No.
If I had to
explain,
if I had to give any answer, bro, I would say this: 90% of the people don't know who they are. Like most of our people still don't know who we are. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand the history of the games they've been playing with us for hundreds of years. And I'll say even some white folks, they in their heart may feel like they're doing something good, but in reality, it is an attack on us. You know what I mean? And that's why us, the so-called conscious community, that's why it's important for us to get into the minds of our peers and the youth. Because if somebody is really trying to attack you, it ain't always physical. Most of the attack ain't physical. Right now, most of the attack is mental. But if your mind ain't right, like Dr. Ali Muhammad said, if you ain't got your mind, you still a slave. You know what I'm saying? And I say that's just true, bro. If your mind ain't right, you can get played with all day long. You know what I'm saying? People could do any old which way to you. They can run circles around your ass and tell you they helping you. But in reality, they still hurting you. You know?
It's like apples growing out of an orange tree. And all I see us doing, I mean, and I'm with it. That's why I say, man, African Americans, you ain't African, man. Start doing what your land calls you to do. It looks like
Hey, bro, you know what? I got a lot of respect for you, especially when I saw you taking your time out to go talk to kids, man. I'm sorry I'm moving, man. I gotta go plug my phone up. It's trying to die, but I don't want us to break up. But I saw you talking to some kids. I believe you was in Alabama. And, you know, you were showing them some slides and you was breaking it down. And they ain't all the way get it. But the fact that you took the time out to go talk to the kids, because the truth is, you're right, man. Once you're 18, 19, 20, 21, you kind of a lost cause in a way until your peers are telling you some shit. They don't listen to us. They listen to their friends. You know what I'm saying? But when they're young, they are sponges. They absorb what you feed them with, you know?
And they absorb what they remember too. When you say distractions from our goals, what are the goals?
Well, I would have to say, I mean, most of us just want to live in peace, man. Most of us want to be left alone. You know, most of us don't want to have to worry about where you're going to eat, how you're going, you know what I'm saying, where you're going to live. You know, those are just the bottom basics, human basic things. But, you know, for the more conscious people, you may want our titles to be corrected. You want people to know who we really are. You don't want them to be calling you African American. They don't want you to, you know what I'm saying? You want people to say, hey, yo, you are Aboriginal of this land. This is y'all land. You know what I mean? But unless you talk to a select few group of people, that sounds crazy to a lot of people. Damn it, man. I'm listening to you, Kerry. My bad, bro. I'm looking for a charger.
So when you saying distractions from our goals, what goals do you mean?
Well, that's what I was saying, bro. You know, just the basics are the first set of goals. You want to have, like I said, you want to be not worried about the government coming over here and taxing your little paycheck. You want to worry about, you know, you having somewhere to live. That's not, you know, the person whose job it is to destroy you, to move into your environment and you can't even live peacefully at your own home. You know what I mean? And like I said, a lot of us want to be able to express who we really are without it sounding so crazy to everybody else. It's like you want to say, hey, man, this is who I am. This is what we are. This is where we at. Damn it.
So you have people coming from Asia, from the other side of the world, coming over here selling your women hair. Because they don't think their hair is better than what they're buying from the Asian women. And brother, listen, man, there's no distractions. This is what's going on. Other people coming over here pimping your ass. All this trying to and all this stuff. Where's our money system? We don't have one. Where's our financial institutions?
Now think about this. This is the 100-year anniversary of the Tulsa, Oklahoma situation. And of course, it wasn't just Tulsa. There were many other Black Wall Streets. This is the 100-year anniversary of the last time that we actually had our own societies that was more successful than most of theirs. You understand? And in 100 years, even after integration, we're no better off. In fact, we're still considered at the bottom. Now, we know when we hear stats from the others, they ain't gonna give us factual stats. But without their stats, you could just look and see we still ain't where we should be. We still don't have that self-love that we should have. We're not taking care of ourselves. We, like you said, we are still looking for somebody to come and save us, somebody to help us. You know, bro, that's just never gonna happen. This is not gonna happen. That's not realistic.
You're absolutely right.
You know, the threat is never us on our knees. That's why I'm not a fan of Black Lives Matter, the organization, and all that. I can't breathe. I'm not a fan of weakness. Okay, I am 100% for the people. I am not with any organization that wants to take away from what we really need. You know, I'm not with any of that. You know, just like they said, Hoover. What was that? What was the man? J. Edgar Hoover, the one that was like, "Yo, you know, there'll never be another Black Messiah," and all of that. Well, he was kind of right, because anyone that they put in front of us, a lot of times, that's their people. You know what I mean? But I feel like the way that we could circumvent that is for us to have that knowledge individually. We don't need a leader. We should all be leaders. You know what I'm saying? If we're not going to all step up to the plate, it's not going to work anyway.
Well, it's you know, it's not for everybody to get, man. You know, we all got however many full moons we here for. It's up to us.
That's true.
You know, and you know, some people like myself and others, they just get tired of seeing us just always kicked in the ass. But we kicking our own self in the ass. And that's why I say a lot of this stuff that we doing, a lot of this whining and crying shit, that ain't on nobody but us, because we do dumb shit and expect something cool to come out of it. It ain't happening like that. So
that's not realistic.
I hear what you're saying. The division within the conscious community. There is no conscious community. None of them people are conscious. They're idiots. And I'm not saying it to be mean or no. I'm just saying it because that's what it is. If you were conscious, dude, that stuff would be growing.
There's also levels. There's also levels of consciousness too, right?
No, either you conscious or you're not, brother. No, because we keep talking about what's happening right now around the world. What's happening with us? Shouldn't the people be growing like the trees and stuff are about to come into harvest? Shouldn't the trees are about to start turning green? They're about to start producing fruit, getting ready for the fruit to fall off in the fall. We're on that same clock. That's what we're created from.
You're right.
We like to pretend. I don't know. Nobody told me. Dude, that shit is it's done. Come on, man.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro. I'm listening.
No, go ahead. You know we ain't supposed to be living like this, all this dumb shit that we fall for. And that's what I'm saying. We look dumb when we blame other people. And when we don't do, I mean, dude, I'm not talking about us because we on that pole. I'm under the poor. I'm however they do their, you know how they say the how much people make. You got the people that make over $1 million a year. You got people who make $200,000 a year. I'm at the bottom end of that stick.
Me too.
So so that's most of us. So what do we have to be divided for?
The division is created by us, bro. I mean, no, I won't say it's created by us, but we are the one that's keeping it in place. You know what I mean? It really was created by somebody else, and I'm not one to waste time blaming. I don't like the blame game. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. I don't like that because that's not productive. You waste time pointing fingers, you don't get to the solution. You know what I mean? So then let's just go even beyond the conscious factor. Let's just go to the community factor, because what we don't have or what we're not doing is living as a community with each other, whether you're conscious or not. Because, you know, like I was saying to you the other day, you know, you're right. A lot of people who call themselves conscious, they're not really that conscious. They want to be. And that's a positive thing, that you want to be a better person. But on the communal level, the community, bro, that's like when they say it takes a village to raise a child, well, yo, bro, our village is in disarray. You know what I'm saying? Our villages are in disarray. You know what I mean? And we, and I say we meaning like me and like you and like anybody else who's old enough and has seen enough to know the game that's being played on us, have to keep at least reaching out to the youngsters, man, because they not gonna know, and ain't nobody else gonna tell them. And like I said, it's 100 years since the Tulsa shit. It's 100 years since we was in good standing. We're gonna do it for another 100 years and be back and forth. I'm fucked up. Y'all messed up. I hate you. I'm gonna rob you. No, man. We have to stop it. We have to stop it. They not gonna stop it. We have to stop it. You understand? And they already don't like us talking these kind of conversations. I know you know. I don't know how many times you've been blocked on Facebook. I've been blocked 100 damn times for nothing. Just talk about positive stuff, promoting us working together, or telling you some information pertaining to the game that's been played on us. You know what I'm saying?
So you know where a lot of division comes in at. I'm a piggyback on this because you're talking about it now. So okay. What you just talking about, you on these platforms, you get blocked, you can't say certain words. I thought this was the land you can free speech. What
we know they lying. We know that's a lie.
Right. So but we play for it. What's happening, and this is the point I break up, and this is why there's so much division. This is how I see it. Have your own electricity, and see, our mind can't wrap around that. If they can get you can get dude. Come on, you can't get your own water. You're a species on this planet that requires water, and you let somebody regulate and poison your water, huh? And you talking about some other dumb that don't matter? That's where we start getting the division. And no, that nigga, he used this curse word. So no, it's free speech, brother. Say whatever. I'm not into that. That's part of our problem.
I agree with you, bro. We need to be forward thinking. We don't need to just be worried about what we're dealing with today. We need to be thinking about what's happening in the next 10, 20, 30 years. Prime example was that black dude down in Texas that created that machine that transfers air into water, clean, drinkable water. Okay. They hurried up and got him off. They hurried up and got him off the media. You know what I mean? Because those type of things, the same thing with having like solar panels, or one of us come up with a better solution for power. That is what I'm looking for, man. Those are the people that I want to build with.
Brother, they all around. And and the sad part with them is it's like, dude, we don't even want this information. These man, you got brothers out here that can do some shit that will blow you away. Right. And all people want to do is
they're not interested. They're not interested. They want to watch a twerk video or who did this dumb shit yesterday. I agree with you, bro. It's frustrating. I can only imagine how frustrated a brother like you, who's been doing what you've been doing for the amount of time that you've been doing it. Because see, me, I'm only about a third year. This is probably about my third, fourth year into the information on the level of what we be talking about. And I think about you, man. Because sometimes I watch you, bro. I see you, man. Sometimes you get a little frustrated, but then I think about it. Why are you so frustrated? You frustrated because, goddamn, how many times you gonna say the same thing? How many people gonna keep missing the point? You know what I'm saying? And it's like this, bro. Hey, as much as it pisses you off, I'm glad you keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna be more pissed off.
It doesn't piss me off because here's why, dude. We're all here for a reason. We're all experiencing life for a reason. Some people know it, some people don't. My job isn't to change your mind or nothing. Be what you want to do. If you want to be in love with a fire hydrant, knock yourself out.
Hey.
My job is I'm walking through and I'm seeing how life is maintained on this planet. I'm seeing the life form on this planet because what you call the African American, Negro, Black, whatever they want to call themselves, every landmass, people are created from the land. They're created from the land. I don't know how we like animals. Lions aren't created over here. They're created wherever they are. Certain bird, the earth, Mother Nature creates all, including us. We just think we're something else. And to me, that's where the division, the confusion, and all this other dumb shit that people are into comes in at. You're rooted here, but you live somewhere else to save you. It ain't gonna happen.
That's not even realistic, man.
Oh man,
that's not realistic.
So, brother, flip it out. I'll give you the last words.
Okay. I'm sorry. What'd you say? I'm sorry. Here to say it again, bro.
I said we coming up on the hour, man. Close us out.
My last words. Okay. Well, hey, man. I personally, I feel like there is still hope. If I felt like it was hopeless, I wouldn't waste time trying to share information or have these kind of discussions. It's not hopeless. Now, we do have to get really fucking serious. We need to stop playing. We need to stop letting people play around us and with us in every direction. And that's including others, that's, our so-called kinfolk and everybody else. But we got to check ourselves and get the house in order first. Because, man, we spend a lot of time, I'm friends with a lot of different type of people on Facebook. I say friends loosely, but I'm friends with a lot of different type of people on Facebook, a lot of different ideologies, a lot of different crazy shit they come up with. I don't care about any of that. The only part that I care about is you want us to be better. You see what I'm saying? You're welcome to believe whatever you believe, but it's from your heart. Do you want us to succeed? And are you willing to put yourself in jeopardy to make that shit happen? You understand? And there's so many different ways you can put yourself in jeopardy. And I'm not saying, oh my God, go out and step in front of a bullet, but I'm saying, bro, let's stop arguing about shit that don't have nothing to do with us. Let's start focusing on solutions to issues like you said, food, water, electricity, our basic necessities. I mean, the culture that we had is gone. They got other people living in our culture right now. You know what I mean? I am not worried about that. Forward thinking. What is our new culture? Because we set the cultural trends. Even while we're in the so-called oppressed state, everything that we do, them folks love us. As much as they hate us, they love us because they can't do nothing without us. But we look at each other like, you ain't shit. I am not one of those people who, I've never been cool with colorism. I'm not prejudiced against anybody because of what they are. That's not my thing, man. In high school, I'm the kind of person where if you was the nerd kid, but you was cool, and if some idiot wanted to bully you, I would wind up beating the bully up because he was messing with you. And that's still kind of how I am today. I've been in a few fights in my life, but most of them were not about me. They were mostly about other folks. And I mean, that may not be great, but that just goes to show you I'm willing to get busy for the right shit. I'm not going to be arguing with people about dumb shit. I'm just not going to do it. But I will have deep discussions, even if it's heated, if it's about us doing something better for each other. And bro, I'll leave it at that.
Before you go, I want to ask you one question. What you think about this? because, you know, a lot of times we just run our yaps and there's things that we could be doing. So this is one of the things that I thought, this is one of the things that I thought about doing that could really be done. I mean, it really would, dude, this is it'll change everybody's lives over like that. Let's say all of the people, this is a Southern thing. I mean, and it can be done all over the country. All of the people who left the South in the 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s that left the South for all these cities that are being gentrified now, all those people came back and rebuilt the cities because they're still there. They're just abandoned and ran down and fucked up.
I love that. I love that.
So that's my 2 cents.
And honestly, if you're really checking it out, bro, that's kind of happening naturally right now. You know what I mean? Because I'm in Atlanta, and I'm gonna tell you, the majority of people here aren't from Atlanta. A lot of them are from the north. A lot of them are from, you know, all the northern states and Chicago, and a few out from the West Coast. I love that. We just have to learn that we need to work together. You know, however we can do that, we need to work on that part. But yo, I love that. Let them have the cold weather. That's their environment. They can have that shit. You know what I mean? The South is ours. That's right. When they got here, who was here? Every depiction that they drew, every description that they said, that was our people, bro. You know, my family, my mother's side of the family is on both sides of her family, is all Virginia. I done got back to almost the 1700s now. You know, my father's side is more New York, and his is a little harder to track because, you know, people have been gone and everybody don't have all the information. But my point is this: we are those people, bro. You know what I'm saying? So hell yeah, come on back to the South. Land is cheap right now. Buy that land. You know what I'm saying? Start building communities.
Man, do you
together.
know you could build houses the way you want them and the way you see them, not the way you see other people putting them up? You can build your house into nature. I mean,
absolutely.
This is the kind of genius we have walking around us right now, and I think we should utilize it. So, brother, I really appreciate you coming on tonight. I really appreciate you
too, man.
Out and share your thoughts and ideas with us, and we'll love to have you back.
Thank you for allowing me to, man. Hey, man. Hey, I'm humbled. I appreciate you, brother. Hey, big bro. Hey, man, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're fighting a good fight. And look, I'm gonna keep sharing anybody I feel is relevant and is giving us good information, because that's probably what, if I'm most famous for anything, is that I share everybody else's information, but I share it because you might not have heard that. And that might be that inspiration that you needed to take you to the next level. You know what I mean? Because the same time it affected me and I learned it, I want the next person to get that same good sensation. And you're one of those forerunners. You're one of those people, bro. So I appreciate you too, man.
All right, brother. And you got to come back because you got to tell us about what's up there in Niagara Falls. That's a part of America that we don't really get. You know, so you got to come back and talk about
Not a problem, man. Not a problem, brother. Hey, anytime, bro.
Well, appreciate you, man. Well, listen, this is another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans. We really appreciate you guys being with us tonight. And you heard the regular brother, like all of us. There's some things he's seeing in the community that he wants better. And I'm sure you want the same thing he wants. So thank you for joining us. Hey, and we'll see you next time. Tomorrow. We got a nice week for everybody. It's going to be a good week. So we have much love and respect.
Y'all.
People in the chat for coming. Appreciate you guys. Peace.
Love, peace, and hair grease.